Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. £45 million Arsenal player is doing extra fitness work. He is not injured. Perhaps the most noteworthy absentee as of late has been Thomas Partey. Indeed, the midfielder has been out of action for quite some time, and while he has recently returned, alarm bells have once again begun to ring after he withdrew from the Ghana squad. Speaking on Shots TV, Chris Watley has provided an update on Partey, and he says that the midfielder isn't actually injured but just doing extra fitness work in order to not risk himself between now and the end of the season. Whitley spoke about the £45 million man. He said, Tomiyasu is staying and working on his fitness. Thomas Partey also withdrew from Ghana's squad for their games. He is not injured. Arsenal fans will be delighted to know that he is not injured. He is working on his fitness and fine-tuning his fitness ahead of that game against Manchester City. It's just not worth the risk for Mikel Arteta, and Ghana have decided it's not worth the risk. This is absolutely the right thing for Arsenal and Partey to do after such a stop-start season. The last thing both parties need is to take an unnecessary risk on something as pointless as an international friendly. With all due respect, nobody will remember or care in years to come if Partey misses two friendlies with Ghana, but if he misses key games in the Premier League title race, that will live long in the memory for Arsenal fans. Let's hope that Partey can still play a key role in the final weeks of the season for Arsenal. Arsenal star could see a transfer away for right price as the Premier League clubs have not gone away, says expert. Arsenal winger Reiss Nelson could be one to watch heading out of the exit door at the Emirates Stadium this summer, according to journalist Charles Watts. Speaking exclusively to CaughtOffside for his latest daily briefing column, Watts made it clear that Nelson currently looks to be facing an uncertain future at Arsenal. He said, I think Reiss Nelson will go this summer and don't think he will be the only academy product to do so. Arsenal need to bring in some cash to help boost the finances, and the likes of Nelson, Edin Ketaya and Smith Rowe will all generate interest. Nelson was very close to leaving last summer when his old deal was running out. Brighton were very interested, as were AC Milan. I have been told the offer from Milan was a really appealing one to the winger, and there were many at Arsenal who believed that he would end up moving to Italy, but Nelson loves Arsenal and Mikel Arteta was happy with the performances he produced over the second half of last season. Arsenal didn't want to lose him on a free, and so they pushed for him to sign a new deal, and ultimately he decided to stay put. However, I don't think that means he will definitely stay this summer. Interest remains in Nelson from several Premier League clubs. I don't think Brighton have gone away, and if a good bid comes in from them or anyone else, I think Arsenal will take it and look to invest that money elsewhere. It just feels like the right time for Nelson to move on now and kick on in his career. Journalist shares what he's heard from people at Arsenal about Ben White. Ben White has been at the center of a lot of drama over the past week or so. Indeed, the defender has been caught in the middle of a media storm after Gareth Southgate revealed that the Arsenal star rejected an England call-up. Of course, this comes after White left the England squad prematurely during the 2022 Qatar World Cup. A lot has been said about White and his attitude and application behind the scenes as many begin to pile on the defender. However, according to James McNicholas, speaking on the Athletic Football podcast, everyone at Arsenal only have good things to say about White behind the scenes, claiming that everyone says he has an incredible work rate and attention to detail. McNicholas spoke about the defender and what people within Arsenal say about him. He said, The contradiction there is when you speak to people who work with him every day at Arsenal, the first word a lot of those players used to describe him in that video was warrior, that sits completely at odds with the image that's often projected around him. Everyone who works with him says about his work rate, his attention to detail, and the fact he is prepared to do all of the analysis that is asked of him. He is effectively learned a new position over the past 12 months at right back. It's so ridiculous that people have been piling on White and making serious assumptions about his character and professionalism. White may not be the most engaged footballer of all time, admitting himself that he doesn't actually enjoy watching the game, but he is an incredibly hard worker. The reality is that you don't get to the point where you are playing for Arsenal and being considered for England if you don't work hard. White may just see football as a job rather than as a passion, but as with any professional, he works hard when it's time to get down to do business. Manager truly believed £20 million Arsenal player would play for Barcelona. One man who possibly doesn't get the credit he deserves is Takehiro Tomiyasu, who has recently returned from a spell on the sidelines. Tomiyasu isn't the first name on the team sheet at Arsenal, but whenever called upon, he rarely drops below the required standard while filling multiple roles across the backline. And former technical director of Barcelona's academy, Ivan Palanco Santiago, believes the Arsenal star could have played for the Catalan club. Speaking to The Athletic, Palanco explained why he believes Tomiyasu could have joined Barcelona's academy setup as a youngster. He said, I remember talking to his mom because we made a squad of the best players in our Japanese schools to go to Spain for a tournament. He was the only player we chose twice because he couldn't join us the first time. He was playing for Avispa and he couldn't join the expedition to Barcelona. We had to convince him to go to Barcelona with the next year's group. I wanted Barcelona coaches in Spain to see him play, and I told his mom that. The next year we chose him again and with the same purpose. He was one of the players I thought without any doubts could join Barcelona's academy in Spain. I made a report and informed my bosses. The problem was it's not easy to move a Japanese player because you are dealing with a person. If you want to move a player from Japan to Spain, you must consider everything. The Gunners paid just £20 million to snap up Tomiyasu from Bologna back in the summer of 2021. He is yet to establish himself as a regular starter, but his importance to this current Arsenal side is undeniable. The Japanese defender is able to operate across the backline and will rarely drop a bad performance regardless of where he is playing. £27 million Arsenal player admits he failed to carry out instruction from Mikel Arteta's staff. David Raya has now revealed that he actually failed to carry out instructions from a member of Mikel Arteta's backroom staff during a recent Arsenal game. The 28-year-old made the comments when speaking to Marca in Spain. So what did Arsenal number 22 David Raya say? Let's take a look. Well, the Spain international revealed to Marca that he actually would have saved more penalties in the recent shootout against Porto if he listened to Inaki Kana, goalkeeping coach at Arsenal. Raya told Marca the following: I said it as soon as the game ended. If I managed to do what the goalkeeping coach told me, I would have stopped all three. We have to look at the present and not the past. I will see on vacation the season I have had. Now it's time to help the national team in both games. Raya saved efforts from Galeno and Wendell in the UEFA Champions League round of 16 shootout, playing a crucial role as Arsenal progressed into the quarter-final. Only Pepe and Marco were able to score past the Spaniard from 12 yards. Also, the £27 million man clearly feels like he should have done better with one of those efforts. In our view, it speaks volumes that Raya is not patting himself on the back for saving 2 penalties, but is instead thinking about the spot kicks, he failed to stop. That is the sign of a true winner. Raya also responded both when asked by Thierry Henry on CBS Sports if he would prefer Arsenal to win the Premier League or the UEFA Champions League this season, another sign of his fierce mentality. Furthermore, the Barcelona-born Golfsman had to deal with the intense media pressure created by Arteta's decision to replace Aaron Ramsdale as number one earlier this season. To bounce back from that tough situation, which seemingly caused Raya to make a few mistakes and now boast the most clean sheets in the Premier League, really does speak volumes about the Spaniard's character. Arsenal facing stiff Premier League competition for £85 million rated midfielder Sakov. According to Team Talk, Arsenal are one of three Premier League clubs interested in trying to acquire the services of Shakhtar Donetsk's brilliant 21-year-old Sakov. Chelsea were believed to be the furthest ahead of the trio, says the outlet, given that they have apparently already made contact with the player. Manchester United are the other team running the rule over the player, though it's believed that the Red Devils might be down the pecking order when it comes to bringing him on board. Man City are in a similar position. At a potential fee of €100 million, the player isn't going to come cheap. However, with such a bright future in the game expected, and with so many years ahead of him even before he reaches his supposed peak years, his hire could end up representing a bargain. It's unlikely any of the clubs interested will want to get into a bidding war, so it will be down to the player to state his own preference. Arsenal have made contact with Real Madrid to sign their magical £85 million player. Arsenal have the pull to attract the best players in the world now, and Edu Gaspar has just inquired about signing a Real Madrid star. Mikel Arteta will also be on the market for a new midfielder, as the futures of Thomas Partey, Jorginho and El Nini are all uncertain. The one other position Arsenal need to strengthen is out wide, and the Spanish newspaper Sport claimed that Real Madrid star Rodrigo is on the Gunners' radar. It has been revealed that both Arsenal and Liverpool have contacted the Galacticos to inquire about the Brazil international attacker situation. Real Madrid reportedly view him as non-transferable, and the two English clubs know that it's nearly impossible to get him as well. However, if he does become available, the report claims Real Madrid will demand at least €100 million to let Rodrigo go this summer. Rodrigo is naturally a right winger, but since Karim Benzema's departure from Real Madrid last summer, Carlo Ancelotti has mostly deployed him as a center forward. The Brazilian, branded as a magical player by Nacho Fernandez, has done a great job up front, scoring 13 goals and providing 8 assists in all competitions. If Arsenal do sign Rodrigo, he will likely be viewed as a right winger. He will compete with Bukayo Saka there, and unfortunately for the Real Madrid man, his numbers are no match for the Gunners' number 7. Saka, despite making 4 fewer appearances for Arsenal this season, has scored 16 goals and provided 15 assists in all competitions. He is the highest rated player in the Premier League so far this campaign. Arsenal have a long-standing interest in Barcelona's Rafinha. Rafinha was a bit of an unknown when he joined Leeds United in the summer of 2020 from Rennes, but he started for the Whites in the Premier League, having a hand in 29 goals in just 67 appearances. That earned him a dream move to Barcelona. While the 27-year-old has had his critics while at the Camp Nou, his numbers are excellent. He's got 15 goals and assists in 28 games this season under Xavi. In his 78 games, 37 goal involvement. Very solid form from the Brazil star. Spanish newspaper Sport claim Rafinha has plenty of interest in him ahead of the summer, with Barca still needing some cash. They rate Rafinha at £68 million, around £13 million, more than they paid Leeds for him. The report says Arsenal and Tottenham have a long-standing interest in him, while Saudi Arabian clubs could make a move. Speaking on a TikTok in January, Rafinha was asked about which club from Europe he likes, and he replied by saying the Arsenal. Arsenal are really impressing, playing an attractive style of football. Described as magic by Garth Crooks while he was shining at Leeds United in January, Rafinha has shown that he would be very apt competition for Saka. Indeed, the England man could do with a rest. Still only 22, Saka has already played 216 times for the Gunners. His stats are immense this season. He is undroppable, 16 goals, 15 assists in 37 games. But if anyone is to push him, Rafinha is the man. It's noted in football that tough competition brings the absolute best out of a player, and signing Rafinha might take Saka to a new level. Rafinha, of course, is also capable of playing on the left side. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.